carefully choose, and I should underline that word carefully.
Carefully.
Carefully
Put
choose
it in
someone
red.
to administer your will,
Yes.
executor and or executrix. And we may have said to you on last occasion, the Wills and Probate Act in Trinidad and Tobago allows you to have as many as 4 persons. Some people have one. My preference is for 2 because something could happen to one of them and the other one can pick up the gauntlet. And also, it provides an opportunity for a check on balance to make sure things happen as they should. And
Yes.
again, as part of carefully choosing whom your administrator should be, it is best not to choose somebody around the same age as you are, because we are still in the idea that young people live longer than older folks. So you would not want as far as possible, your executor to pass on before you do. And then the most important element of carefully choosing that person is the question of the person's integrity, honesty, and professionalism. Because I am aware of a gentleman now who is 71 years old who volunteered to be executor for a number of persons, and he's tired. He said, I
Yeah.
will never do this again because it's a good
It's
bit
a
of
lot of
work.
work. Yes. I want to talk about that because I don't think people understand the responsibility that they are assigning to an executor, especially when they are not also a beneficiary. If they are an executor alone, right? You're asked. It's a huge ask for them. Additionally, I would also add, because you said someone of good integrity and all of these things, I would add someone who has the capacity to do so. And more often than not, it could mean as well, I am speaking to the professional and mental capacity to do so. You want someone who is able to go down to lawyer office and sort things out, and it's a lot of up and down and running around and understanding that needs to happen. Someone who has the capacity to cognitively take the information and apply it in a reasonable and sound manner, and someone who has the capacity to understand their real authority. Sometimes I've recognized that as well too. Sometimes executors or executress, they may think that they have more autonomy than they really do. And that could also be equally problematic. All right. So the choice of an administrator or an executor of your will is a very serious and important one. And you want to make sure the person agreeing to do so understands their responsibility as well as the knowledge of the will. I've seen some people write wills and they never told the executor about it. It's a nice surprise. It's
All
not
right.
recommended that you do that.
I want you said a mouthful there, and I want to take
Mhm.
it back, take it down a
Piece
little
by
bit and
piece.
make some points about what you have said. The first
Yes.
point you raised about time frame. We need to
Mm-hmm.
let you folks know that there's something called an executor's year. So if after a year the executor has not started the probate, beneficiaries have a right to begin challenging that person in court. There's
Yep.
another important issue. So after the cremation or the burial, you don't know where the executor is. You don't know anything about the will. The will has not been read. Family members are wondering what is
You see
happening.
that? You see that point again? A lot
That
of
is
people
another
are
very important point
reading of
about
the
knowing
will.
what is in the will, and not just
Oh,
reading as if other people can't follow, but they need to make copies. So you could
correct.
verify
Correct.
what they're reading is what you are seeing on the page.
Correct. Yes.
And
Yes.
that is
And
really the
some
bona fide final will.
in Trinidad and Tobago, I have seen executors hiding wills, refusing to.
Right. And then there is this thing, well, a significant amount of our population are Catholics, Roman Catholics. So there is this thing about waiting for 40 days and
Yes.
then you read the will. Please know that is really just a tradition
Correct.
and there is no legal binding element where that is concerned. Only recently somebody asked me about it, and her father is deceased now. and the older brother has said nothing about the will. And one of the younger sisters thinks that the father left everything for her, but she doesn't know what is in the will. And
Yeah.
so I said to
Beneficiaries sometimes do not believe that they have a right for the will to be read to them. I've
her,
seen that.
exactly,
We had a matter recently, and we are telling one of the beneficiaries that the manner in which it was handled was not in line with the law, and he still did not believe. He had an honest opinion because he's an outside child. That
no,
he
but we
really
don't say
didn't
outside
have.
child. He
No,
is
no,
not.
no. No,
Let me
that is
just
why I said
correct
that.
you.
That's why I said that.
So,
That's
but
why I
yeah, we
said that.
fix on it one time. We have better you say he is not the
He's not a
biological
child.
child,
No, no,
or
no. He's
his
a
name is
biologist.
not registered. His name is not the deceased name. Let's put it nicely.
Nicely. All right.
And
Let me say it
let's be
nicely. He
politically
was not.
correct and
He
say the
was not
deceased
illegal.
name.
He was not a child of the legal marriage of the deceased.
Or,
So he was a
okay,
biological child. He was a
and
biological
his name is
child.
on the
His
father's
name
name is
is
on
on
his
the
birth
birth
certificate.
certificate,
Right. So
right?
we have to
But he
say
was not a
he was
child
not
of the
a
legal
child of
marriage.
the marriage.
Yes, yes,
Right.
right. So he
Right.
felt because of that, he grew up. The one of the children of the marriage was appointed the administrator, and he felt he had no right to, as a beneficiary, make certain requests or get certain information